Hi guys, it's Sarah from LessofSarah. Thought I would check in today and make a video talking a little bit more about my issues with food and my weight in the past and what sort of got me to this point of deciding to have weight loss surgery. I'll talk a little bit more, I think, on my video on Friday about the type of surgery I'm having and how I came to the decision of having it in Mexico and with the surgeon I did. But today I wanted to just talk a little bit more about my background. It hasn't escaped me, of course, that I'm making a video and in the background there's candy. I don't know if you can see that. Long story, but it's not candy that anyone's eaten anytime soon. So I'll try not to make videos of candy in the background again. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my past history with food and why I think, at least, I've gotten to the point that I have today. I mentioned in my first video that I've always been big. I'm big boned. I am actually big boned, really. And that, I just have always been overweight in varying amounts, obviously, throughout my life, but I was always the big girl from forever. I was a big baby. I was a big everything. I think that a lot of that had to do with my eating habits as a child that sort of continued into my adult life with some, maybe not so great changes. As a child, my dad's parents lived with us, my grandparents, and my grandmother is Italian, and she cooked the total Mediterranean diet, and she was very strict about what we ate. There was no processed food or even canned food. Everything was fresh, lots of farm fresh stuff from our garden. Everything that people want to do now. I mean, she was doing it then. And so my diet was actually amazing for a kid. There was no bologna sandwiches. There was no processed cheese. There was no Oreos. There was no McDonald's. As a kid, it was really depressing, to be honest. But as an adult, I can look back and see, that she was doing her best. But I think the problem with that was that it was so restrictive that anytime I could eat stuff that was not healthy, I went for it. There was also a portion control issue, and I think that sort of followed me my whole life. My grandmother was born in 1928, and she went through, really hard times, went through war, all of that stuff. And as the youngest not the youngest, but the only girl with four brothers, she was sort of last when it came to, getting food at the table. And I think that always stuck with her, those hard times, not always knowing where food was going to come from or making things stretch. And so she felt like we needed to be respectful of the food that we had and clean our plates and, not waste food. She felt that you needed to eat to be healthy. And on one hand, she would say I was too chubby, and on the other hand, she would keep telling me to eat. So there was a lot of mixed messages going on. But I think from that time, and maybe because of that, I've always overeaten. And I don't just mean overeating bad food. I mean literally overeating everything. At this point, I think the switch is broken. That tells me that I'm full. I would eat a lumberjack. Seriously. It's obscene the amount that I could eat if I want to, and do sometimes. I just don't really feel full all that often unless I've eaten an obscene amount of food. And obviously that's not normal, and I understand that. And that's part of the reason I've chosen to have surgery, because I know that portion of why I'm fat, the overeating, the portion control issue, all of that is actually going to be solved in a way by surgery, because I will not be able to overeat and I will only have a small capacity for food. But there's probably other issues at work, I'm guessing. I don't think I'm a super emotional eater. I sometimes will make funny comments about, eating my feelings and that sort of thing. But I really honestly don't believe that's the reason that I'm fat, or that's a huge problem for me. I don't think I have a food addiction. I can, say no to things. I can stop myself from eating, a huge amount of whatever. I'm the person who could stop at eating one chip. I just have been, I guess there was a time when I just sort of gave up. I just stopped caring. I know that sounds terrible. Like I would stop caring about how fat I was getting, but I just felt like I was never going to be able to lose the weight. Like it had gotten to the point where who cares? Because I am so overweight, I can actually eat a fairly, I'm sorry, my alarm is going off. I can actually eat a fairly large amount of food without gaining weight. For a person my weight, I can eat about 3,400 calories a day for maintaining my weight. So that's a lot. and I think I just, yeah, I kind of gave up. And it was never really about, you know, having to eat something or having compulsions to eat or binging or any of that stuff. So I really feel like if that actually is a problem and I'm just not self-aware enough to realize it, the surgery is going to help me figure that out. Because once we take away that hunger, we take away the ability to overeat, I think those other things will come to the forefront if they're there. And that's when I'm going to have to start dealing with the head issues that are related to food. I think part of it too is just liking to eat. I mean, I don't know. If someone who's overweight tells you they don't really like food that much, I really wouldn't believe them. I mean, I'm just being honest, but I think a lot of us who are overweight, one of the reasons we're overweight is because we really like eating, because food is awesome. And that whole, you know, eat to live, not live to eat thing, pardon my French, I think it's bullshit. I think just like everything else, we should be allowed to enjoy food. And I don't think that just because you're overweight, you shouldn't be allowed to enjoy food, or you should feel like you have to live the rest of your life starving and not able to eat something that you want to eat or that you enjoy eating because you are so terrified of gaining any weight. I think a normal skinny person doesn't deprive themselves of everything, but they are conscious about everything they put in their mouth and how much goes in their mouth, and that they need to do something to balance that, whether it's eat less at another meal or work out or whatever it is. And I think that's part of what's maybe broken in me and in some of us who are overweight, is we don't know how to eat like a person who's skinny. I know that's a controversial point of view, to be honest, in the weight loss community. I know there's a lot of people that think that, you know, you just need to give up eating anything that's like really delicious or amazing because, you know, you're not going to be able to handle moderation or whatever. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to handle moderation. I know that I kind of have a plan for after surgery, and I mean after like maintenance after surgery. And I'll probably make a video actually and share that. So if it doesn't work out, I can look back and see how wrong I was. But I just don't buy into that, to be honest. And so we'll see how that works out. But I really think that's part of my problem. I just really like food. Like, and I really like food that is not like super healthy. Like I really love bread. Like I really love bread. Like baguette. Oh my God. Like, I just dream about it at night. Like I just love it so much. And that's one of the foods I'm probably going to mourn not having. You know, my plan at this point is really to stay away from any kind of white carbs, you know, pretty much forever, to be honest, because I think that those will be a trigger for me. So white breads, you know, pasta, white rice, forget about it. Not going to happen. Potatoes. I don't even like potatoes that much, to be honest, or rice or pasta. Bread is the big one. And bread is something I have a hard time controlling myself with. So I absolutely know that that has to just get cut out. And that makes me very sad. But you know, I'm ready. I'm just, I think I said it in my last video, and I don't know how to explain it other than to say that I know this is the right time. I'm doing the right thing. I've made the right decision. All the signs point to that. I'm not a religious person. I'm not going to pretend that I am, but I am a spiritual person, and I believe in fate, I guess. I believe that there's a time for everything, and I think this is the right time. And I love my family, my friends, my husband, my children so much, and I want to be there for them, and I want to be the best person that I can be, and I know that that's not who I am right now. So that's a little bit about how I've gotten to the point of deciding to have surgery. And in my next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the type of surgery I chose to have, why I chose to have it, in Mexico and a bit more about my surgeon, Dr. Aceves. So I'm looking forward to talking to you guys then. Have a good day.